Hello, Sato-san.
Hello, Dave.
How are you?
I'm good. And you? Greeting.
Good.
Yeah.
What's what's going on in Japan this week?
Not so special. Yeah. The in US, is that the vacation season, right? Next.
Starting, yeah, we have small vacation Thanksgiving
Mhm.
next week, and then we have Christmas holidays. A lot of people take off the last couple weeks in December.
It's so nice.
I think we'll have I think we'll have our December meeting. Let me look at the calendar. Third Wednesday would be December 18th. Yeah, I'll still be here at least, so we'll have the
Hmm.
meeting. We might not get many people. In fact, we don't get many people most meetings, but I know Artem said he would join. He wanted to talk about the RFC that's out there. Give him one more minute.
Yeah.
Okay, we might as well get started for the recording. We'll see if the others join for the RFC discussion. But I just had a couple quick updates for this month. You probably know Fabric version 3 and Fabric 2.5.10 are both out. They were released in September. We try to do these LTS releases. So V2.5 is the long-term support release. We try to do those at least once a quarter to catch up third-party dependencies and so on. But for Fabric version 3, that was kind of a brand new release with the Smart BFT feature. So if anybody has feedback on the Smart BFT feature, we'd like to take that and get any feedback incorporated into version 3. But the 2.5 release will probably continue to be the long-term support release for quite a long time here. I know a lot of users are on that already, and some users are moving up from the last LTS release, which was 2.2. Some of them are still moving up to 2.5. But there's not a lot of new development going on after version 3 got released from the existing maintainers, at least. So that's why I have a bullet here calling for any new contributors or maintainers. If you're interested, let me know and we can try to match up a work item and a skill to see what you might like to contribute on. And if you have enough of a track record on contributions, you can even become a maintainer of the project. Like I said, the current maintainers aren't doing too much new development these days, just maintaining the existing releases and doing patch releases, that type of thing. So if you are interested, or your company or your organization is interested in seeing larger enhancements, we'd love for you to be a contributor and eventually become a maintainer of the project. Hi, Artem. How you doing? We just got started.
Hey,
So far, I
hey,
just
Dave.
talked about the release update, and I mentioned that the existing maintainers aren't too active with new development, so I have a call for any new contributors and new maintainers that might be interested in helping out with the Fabric project. Um, the one small thing we are doing currently is getting the images pushed up to the GitHub container registry in addition to Docker Hub. So that's been done for a lot of the repositories, but not all the repositories yet. So I do plan to finish out this work item and then switch over things like the samples and the install scripts to use GHCR as kind of the strategic location for the Fabric images going forward. Yeah, for now at least, we'll dual publish to both GHCR and to Docker Hub, but that's just a small item. Um,
Why is it strategic? Like, what is the difference? It's Docker Hub or GitHub?
It's just kind of the culmination
Just
of
out of the
putting
convenience.
yeah, the culmination of switching everything to GitHub so everything's in one place. It makes things a little bit
Okay.
easier um, for maintenance and so on. And I think that's typical in the industry as well. I think people have generally been moving open source projects over to GitHub and away from Docker Hub for the container registry. But we'll maintain both for the foreseeable future and see how things go.
Okay, I
Okay, so
see.
there is one RFC out here around improving chain code performance by batching writes. It's what they call a chain code optimization proposal. I know Artem, you opened this, but I know it's also been active by how do I say his name? PFI
It's further.
Flowdart. Okay, so I know you guys have been active on this. We've gone back and forth on several things. One of the latest things we've talked about is whether we should do um, explicit batching or implicit batching. So I think the proposal started off with kind of this idea that we would do implicit batching of writes. So all the writes that were done in a chain code execution would be pushed to the peer at the end of the execution so that the peer can build the read-write set, which gets packaged up into a transaction. But Manish raised a couple concerns about that, and I also think it might be better to do this explicit batching so that the chain code developer is in full control. If they want to run it the legacy way, that's fine of doing the reads and writes in the chain code as they occur in the chain code, or if they want to batch the writes to the end or to some logical point. So I agreed with your suggestion there of doing uh, a, a marker in the chain code to start and end the batch, and every time they end the batch, those writes would all get pushed down to the peer. I think you're in agreement with
So I
that,
will
but
I will just update the RFC with just to reflect the conversation, the problem and the desired outcome. And I think I'm fully for it. Like it's less intrusive and most obvious way for the developers to preserve first of all the legacy code, and going forward, if someone would like to have this batching functionality, it's kind of explicitly will be able to just use it as it. That
yeah, okay. But overall, I think the RFC is pretty good, and with this, if there's agreement on that explicit batching, I think we should be ready to go. It sounds like at least some proposal code was already prepared, so hopefully it won't take too long to actually do a pull request for the change on the main branch. But we'll get this the agreements captured in the RFC here. If you update that, I can put my approval on it, and we'll just need a few other approvals on it. And then I think we typically like to have 3 approvals on an RFC just to make sure there's consensus among a set of maintainers. But once that's done, we can do the official process, which is putting it out for a final comment period. And then a week after that, we'll go ahead and merge it. But it looks pretty good to me now.
okay. So I will just take care to update it.
Okay, thank you.
The I have also reviewed the discussion, and actually I'm not familiar with the internal implementation about the RFC, but generally I agree. Uh, if backward compatibility is kept, and so I support the solution to add explicit API, which is the latest discussion. So as it keep compatibility and avoid the problem through clear use. So I will approve the
Yeah.
yeah RFC.
Okay. Okay. Sounds good. Thank you. Yeah, this is something we've kind of thought about in the past, but we never really moved on it. So I'm glad to see this RFC finally come through. Okay. So that's all I had on the agenda. Did you guys have anything else you want to add?
So Dave,
No, I just wanted to discuss the RFC, but if you're seeking a call for contribution, I think that P5 guy, we might propose him to become a maintainer because he's pretty active, I think.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
compared to the rest of the maintainers, I think he is relatively
He
active.
Yeah, he's more active for sure.
So we can propose, so I can just speak with him and promote him to the maintainer.
Yeah, go ahead and talk to him, make sure he's interested, and if so, you can do the pull request even that nominates
Mm-hmm.
him and put in like I usually put a paragraph in the pull request saying why somebody is being nominated, and then we can
Okay.
try to gather up all the approvals, or at least the majority.
Yeah, an active majority.
Yeah.
And
Um,
Dave,
so,
are there any kind of active updates going forward with the project? Like, do you have any plan for the contributions of on, I don't know, on other areas, like, because I know the most important was to introduce Mount BFT, but I don't know, do you have anything else?
no, that's what I was saying about when I was here talking about the call for contributors and maintainers, is that the active maintainers or the existing maintainers are not too active in terms of new development these days. There's not a lot of investment and um, desire to add a bunch of things because Fabric itself is pretty stable, and a lot of users and customers are running on what's out there now. But yeah, if you or others are interested in getting more active, we def or bringing on other people onto the project, we would all be in favor of that. And we basically, I think we'd like to see whoever wants to invest in the project, let them kind of drive some of the roadmap. We did have an older roadmap, but none of those items are being actively considered or worked on right now. So yeah, if we can get some new blood, new maintainers, that could help us nail down some roadmap items for going forward.
And do you have a link to the roadmap? Like, I can try to share it with the people asking whenever someone is interested in contribution.
Let's see, it is on the wiki. Spaces. Oh, there it is. In fact, I have to update it to indicate that Fabric version 3 is done. So these were some of the proposed items in the past. We've talked at various times about doing a binary chain code builder, maybe replacing the default Docker builder.
Mm-hmm.
That's still seems like a good thing to do to me. Optimize block storage, the deduplication of certs. So all the certs, all the transactions include a copy of the certs, and many of those certs are just duplicated for every transaction. For example, the client certs or the peer endorsement certs, so that it takes up a lot of extra space in the blockchain. There's been some various talk about removing or replacing GoLevel DB with a different embedded database that's faster. GoLevel DB has not had many updates in the last couple of years. In fact, I think our version in Fabric is 3 years old now because there hasn't been any updates in it, even from that open source project. And there have been some other embedded databases that have been making progress in the last couple of years. So that would be an option.
Does it has to be a key value based database, or we can consider a different approach?
Well, key levels certainly would be key value would certainly be a lot easier, of course. But there had been talks in the past about supporting SQL and things like that. Um, yeah, it would be a pretty big challenge to get that done, but it is technically possible.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Um, there have been some various proposals in the past about validation and commit path performance improvements. Order snapshots. So we did peer snapshots in version 2.3. The idea is that you could potentially do order snapshots as well, so that um, when you bring on a new order, it could just start up from the snapshot instead of from the Genesis block. Block archive and pruning. So this is to reduce the size of the blockchain. So maybe you have a consortium that has a rule or has a policy that says they don't really need to keep the data after 5 years or 10 years or something like that. It would be really nice to be able to archive out that old historical data as long as you have an agreed upon snapshot of the blockchain that the consortium has agreed to. So now that we have peer snapshots, this was going to be one of the next steps that we could do. And then the final one, quantum safe crypto. So at some point, the PKI infrastructure might get outdated relative to quantum safe crypto. So this is kind of a more long-term exploratory thing that would be nice to work on.
That implicitly means that we basically would like to have like more pluggable way to introduce a new crypto primitives, right? Like the work that we started with BCCSP and the rest, which we
That's right.
didn't complete,
That's
just
right.
to
So
make it.
we do claim it's pluggable, but it's very difficult to plug in a new crypto. But yeah, if so, we could potentially refactor that to make it easier, and then plug in additional crypto libraries such as quantum safe.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay.
So anyway, those are the items on the roadmap, but like I said, none of them are actively being investigated and worked right now. But if you or other new people would like to come into the project and pick up any of these, that would be much appreciated.
Yeah, I was also thinking to propose the graceful shutdown for the peer and order and servers processes, right? Because right now we kind of killing the processes in the middle of something without being actually sure that it's safe to do it, right?
Yeah, that's a good one. There was also work done on being done on an admin SDK. So that would allow you to do chain code management and channel management from a new CLI. So the SDK made some pretty good progress, and one of the next steps was going to be to put like a CLI wrapper around that. So that's something I can add to that roadmap. Let's see what else was there. I think those were the main ones.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, anything else you guys want to talk about today?
No, I think I'm fine. I'm just going to talk with P5 just to see whenever he will. I think he will be happy to join. So
Yeah, okay, sounds good. Yeah, I'll look forward to that nomination.
okay, thank you, Dave.
Okay, thanks guys. Have a good evening.
Thank you.
Bye.
Okay,
Bye.
bye. Yeah.